you believe it's 2021 now? It seems like yesterday when it was the millennial, right? COVID 2 years into our life, right? Now, it's going by really quickly. COVID has messed with our heads. But this is your opportunity as a lifestyle financial planner. Because now clients, through COVID, certainly in the UK, are now thinking, well, what do I want my new normal to look like? Life isn't a rehearsal. Precious time is slipping away. That is the opportunity for you to connect with clients about stuff that really matters. This fund or that fund doesn't really matter. I always say to people, the best fund will never change a client's life. But lifestyle financial planning delivered properly and communicated efficiently and properly does change people's lives. So just remember that then. So these are my weird wake-up calls. It might sound a little bit depressing to think about your death and about life not being a rehearsal, but I think it's the opposite. It's really, really inspiring. It's what is it that you want to do between now and the day you die. Not just you, but your clients. Your job is to find out what those clients want to achieve. It's not the best performance. It's to get a better life. It's to do stuff in the time they've got left. It's to live the best life possible with the money they've got is what they want to do. And that's what you're here to help them to do. So my realization really came about then. So I've got this sort of grief. I've got this emotional state after losing my mom and this wake-up call about life not being a rehearsal. And a few weeks after my mom died, I went to see my first prospective client in a meeting. And I remember doing a great fact find because I was lucky enough to have been taught really good fact finding first meeting skills when I first started my career. Some of those skills really matter today. I remember seeing this client who were in their early 60s, and I was talking to them about their life and about where they are and what they wanted to do. And for some reason, they started saying things like, well, one day, Paul, we'd like to do this. And one day, Paul, we'd like to do that. And one day, Paul, we'd like to buy a boat and learn to sail and sail in the Mediterranean. And one day, Paul, we'd like to climb Machu Picchu. And one day, we'd like to do this. And they were telling me about all the things they wanted to do one day. Now, bearing in mind my emotional state at that time, having lost my mom, having witnessed the grief in my dad, for some reason, something made me snap in that meeting. And what I did, it was a bit embarrassing at the time, but I slammed their kitchen table. I was in their kitchen, in their home, and I slammed their kitchen table and I said, excuse me, but what do you mean by one day? What do you mean by one day? Why not do these things now? And they went a little bit weird on me, and I felt a little bit embarrassed when I realized what I'd done. But basically, I explained to them that I just lost my mom. My dad had spent his whole life saying one day, and here they are with all the money. They're still together, and they've got time to do stuff. So why not do it? Why not do these things now? And then they said to me these magic words. They said, well, Paul, I appreciate what you're saying. It's all very well saying do these things now, but can we afford to do these things now? And I said, let's find out. Now, at the time, I'd just recently taken on some financial planning software that I had not even used. I got the license, but I never really used it at all, really. And I thought, right, now's the time to get that software to work. And then what I did, I then put all their financial details into this financial planning software back in 1990, to then crunch their numbers and help them to understand what was going to happen to their money on really conservative assumptions. And I stress tested these calculations as best I possibly could. I was on the helpline to this company like crazy, making sure these figures were correct. And it was obvious they could afford to do these things now. So when I went back to show them this thing called a proper financial plan, a lifestyle financial plan, helping them to understand how they could maintain their current lifestyle and do an awful lot more too, without running out of money ever, that changed their life. I promise you, I could see and feel the emotion that they had from what I'd shown them. And that's when I realized from that moment onwards, this is what I'm going to do for every client every single time. I don't want clients who don't pay me enough money. I don't want clients who aren't profitable. I don't want clients who don't get what I'm about. I'm only going to take on and make sure every client I've already got is going to get this experience where I help them to really understand where they are now and where they're heading financially and what they need to do to get and keep the life that they say that they want. And more importantly, what else do they want to do in the time they've got left on this planet? And this is where you can really connect with clients about stuff that really matters. I call it telling people the truth about money. Okay, I've got a whole training session on this concept of the truth about money. And the truth about money, okay, is not, we're supposed to tell people the truth, aren't we? Right? We're supposed to. But the truth about money is not this fund over here is better than that fund, or Alan Gray is better than, I don't know all the names of your companies, by the way, is better than another company, okay? Or this portfolio is better than that portfolio, or this pension is better than that pension, or active is better than passive, and all the stuff that most financial advisors completely waste their time focusing on. Because don't they? Most financial advisors focus on, I swear occasionally, I won't swear now, but they focus on stuff that doesn't matter. That is not the truth about money. That's all bullshit in my view. It's mostly led by the industry and their financial pool, I call it, where it's all about promoting new funds to get the money circulating and people ripping off their charges. That is not the truth about money. That's just industry-led bullshit. The truth about money is far more impactful. It's first of all waking up to this fact that life is not a rehearsal, right? That's a starting point here. And therefore, when you really get that and you understand that and you've connected with clients about this, it's therefore, what is it that you want to do, Mr. Client, between now and the date you're in a box? What does you want to do between now and the time of your death? What more do you want to do? It's how much. It's also about things like how much do you need to sell your business for example, to enable you to live a great life. It's how much do you make, what do you need to do to ensure that your family are going to be okay, whatever happens. It's all about helping people to understand the truth about what needs to happen to get and keep the life that they say that they want. But of course, the starting point is you knowing the life that they've got and the life that they want. Okay, and that's the important part here. So that's a quick overview then of my introduction to, or my wake up to what I started to call lifestyle financial planning. This is 1990. And I just decided, therefore, that every client would get this no matter what. If they didn't want it, if all they wanted from me was a new fund, then I wouldn't take them on as a client. I'd send them away, basically. Because I had to fulfill my own belief in this. And if you start taking on clients who don't get it, then it means that you don't get it. Okay, if you really believe in telling people the truth about money, and you believe that it's your job to help people to understand this stuff, there's no way you can take on a client who doesn't go through the process. There's no way. It's not possible. Okay, and that makes you have integrity. It makes you stand up for what you believe in, and that just flows from your body. You don't even have to sell yourself, because clients will sense what you believe. That's what I found. So I then did this for, where are we? I focused on this until 2005. In 2005, I decided to buy, 2002, I decided to order a boat. And that's when I started to make my own decision to live my own life. And again, you've got to believe this too. You've got to live your life on purpose as well, of course. You've got to walk the talk is what you have to do. So then in 2005, I then started getting approached by other advisors who found it amazing that little old me could buy £1 million plus VAT sailing yacht and then spend 6 months working and 6 months sailing. So then they started asking me how I could help them to learn some of these skills. And then that's basically my entry into being a coach, if you like, of helping other advisors to get really good at this stuff. Now, what I'd like to share with you then is a few little pointers here, which I'm hoping you can use. One of my biggest wake-ups, if you like, was although in the early years I was delivering this amazing service to clients and changing their lives, I still call myself or referred to myself as a financial advisor. And I don't know about you, but if you say you're a financial advisor, it's probably one of the easiest ways to clear a room. Have you ever noticed this? If you're at a dinner party and you say, someone says, what is it you do? I used to hate that. I don't know if anyone on the call hates that too, but I used to hate it whenever anyone said that. And certainly my ex-wife hated it when I said I was a financial advisor. And I thought, there's got to be a better way. So then I started to call myself a financial planner. And although I didn't get so much rejection as that, they didn't know what it was. And if anyone knew me, they knew that I was in the building previously trade. And you have planners in that, don't you, and stuff. And it's like, well, what's a financial planner? They didn't understand what it is. And I still believe today the majority of people do not know the difference between a financial planner and a financial advisor. Now, that's your opportunity, okay? It's not a problem. It's a great opportunity that most people don't know what it is. It took me a while to really start using the term with confidence, lifestyle financial planner. I didn't really use it to sell myself because I don't think anyone would understand what that really is. But I did use it I did deliver it. That's the important thing. So the thing about this is, it's not what you call yourself, it's what you actually do. That's the important thing. And there are too many people in the financial services realm that change their job title, but don't actually do what they say their job title is. And you know as well as I do, there's people out there, certified financial planners, that all they do is peddle financial products and funds. That's all they do. And they're killing it for everybody else who is doing the job properly. But we can turn that to our advantage when we prove that we deliver financial planning by actually doing it. So what I then was doing then, I remember there's a guy, an American guy called Michael Gerber. I don't know if anyone's heard of Michael Gerber. He wrote a book called The E-Myth. The E-Myth stands for the entrepreneurial myth. And it's a brilliant book, particularly if you are personally as an advisor working with small business owners. Now I was gravitating towards small business owners because I realized that they can find the money. Okay, for you to have a great life, you need the money. Now the average employee can't always find the money. They've got a limited budget, and therefore there's the limit to how much they can accumulate and save and so on. But a small business owner, you can help them to understand what they need to accumulate and achieve, and they can then put their thinking cap on and start thinking about ways of making more money in their business. So I started to gravitate towards small business owners, and Michael Gerber's teachings were great for helping small SMEs. But I remember then I went to a 2-day conference with Michael Gerber in London, and he was talking about understanding your client and what they wanted and their understanding of what it is you deliver. And he started to talk about doing surveys with your clients, about early days of researching your clients and so on. And I basically left that conference totally committed to doing a survey with my clients to find out what it is they felt about me and what I offered and where could I improve. But Michael Gerber said, whenever you do a survey with your clients, don't ask them questions you want to hear the answers to. Ask them questions that you don't want to hear the answers to, because that's when you learn stuff, right? So I thought, right, I'm going to go for this. I'm going to ask these clients everything about how they feel about everything that I did. My first meeting process, how I contacted them, what they thought when they first met me, what did they think about my car if I turned up at their business or their home, the car that I drove, which was quite exotic at the time, by the way. What did they think about my first meeting, how I asked the questions? What did they think about the financial planning report? Did they read it? What about the recommendation letters and the reason why letters for the financial products? Did they read those? What did they think of them? And so on. What did they think about my fees? What did they think about how much I earned from them in total, from fees and commissions and so on? Just really down to earth, hard, tough questions about my process. What did they think about my back office systems and communications and so on? What did I think about the ongoing forward planning meeting, I call it, the ongoing meeting every year? And I remember going to this post box with 100 surveys to post through the post box to my clients, about 96, I think, at the time. So I remember going to the post box and having this feeling of, I'm not sure I should be sending this off, because I wasn't sure what was going to come back to me with the answers. But of the 96, I think about 40, 45 came back fairly quickly. But one of them I haven't got this here, but one of them on the survey that he sent back to me is like a 3 or 4 page survey. On the front of it, he'd written with a big blue marker pen, I haven't got time to complete this, call me, exclamation mark. And this was from one of my favorite clients. And I honestly felt that I'd pissed the guy off. Excuse my English here, but I honestly felt that I'd upset him and he wasn't a happy bunny. So when I called him, his name was Jimmy Lowe. And I called Jimmy and I said, hi, Jimmy, you asked me to call you because you didn't fill in my survey. And what's the problem? He said, Paul, I didn't fill in your survey because it was all about you as a financial advisor. And I don't think of you as my financial advisor. I think of you as my life planner. Because what you've done for me, Paul, is you've helped me to plan my life. You haven't helped me with, I know you've done stuff for me like insurances and pensions, and you've protected my estate and you've invested my money for me. I know you've done those things, but I don't value you for that. I value you for what you've helped me to understand about where I am and where I'm heading and what more I can achieve. So I think of you more as my life planner, not my financial advisor. And he said, if you're going around calling yourself a financial advisor, I'm betting you're losing more clients than you're getting taking on. And that was true, as we all know. So suddenly he'd made me realize this important role that I've got in life called a life planner. Now that term can be overdone and it can be touchy-feely for some, and I'm not into touchy-feely stuff. I'm into down-to-earth meetings with clients that doesn't make them cry. I know you've got a speaker coming up soon who thinks it's great to get a client to reach for the handkerchiefs, but I'm not a fan of that at all. I don't believe in asking clients questions they're not ready for, okay? So he suggests then to me that this important role that I've got, that I'm missing out on communicating, is life planner, okay? And I started to then call my other clients and say, I've got this weird client of mine. He thinks I'm more of a life planner than I am a financial advisor. What do you think? And they'd say, yeah, fair point. You've helped me to think about my life in a whole different way. Right. Yeah, I was going around calling myself a financial advisor. I know some of the people on this call have done the same thing, right? And losing clients. So that's when I started to realize there's actually 3 really important roles that we fulfill. Okay, and I want to share this with you now, and you can use it straight away if you want, if you think it's worthwhile using. But I find it incredibly powerful, and all the advisors that I train and teach through my online training program all have to get this message, okay? Well, they get it straight away because they suddenly wake up to what it is. Now, let me tell you what these are then. I started to realize that I wear 3 hats, and I think every great financial advisor on this call, certainly, if you're any good, if you're a lifestyle financial planner, then there's 3 parts of your job. There's 3 hats that you wear. The first hat is that of a life planner. Okay, so the first hat is over here, life planner. The second hat that you wear is financial planner, and the third and least important hat that you wear is that of a financial advisor. Okay, so these are the three hats. Now let me just talk you through these 3 hats so you can understand what I mean by the concepts. Okay, let's do the least important hat first, financial advisor. Okay. Financial advice, in my view, okay, is anything that you do, I hope you can see that, okay, anything you do that relates to investments, pensions, insurances, life insurance, critical illness cover, trust arrangements, rebalancing portfolios, risk profiling, mortgages, portfolio reviews, and so on. Anything to do with advice or review or changing or churning, as some would do, a financial product is nothing more than financial advice, okay? That's what financial advice is in my view, okay? That is your third hat, okay? Now, I raise this issue first because you would not believe how many certified financial planners call themselves financial planners, yet that is the focus of their service. Have you noticed that? So many certified financial planners in the UK, in America, certainly, I've got a fair number of members in America, and they all say that there's an awful lot of financial planners, that's all they focus their service on. Because the industry has made them do that. The financial industry wants you to focus on this stuff here. That's what they want you to do. And they will spend billions of pounds every year communicating, marketing, advertising financial products at you to make sure you keep talking about this stuff here. Okay, that's what financial advice is all about. That's financial advice, the least important hat. The most important hat that you wear, this one over here, is that, right? Can you see that? Life planner, okay? Life planner, it's all about your client, right? Their life. In particular, what's their story? What is your client's story? Where are they now in their life? And how did they get to where they are now? What's their story? We've all got a story. I've got a story. You've got a story. The thing is, most people are not interested in your client's story. Because Facebook these days, as you probably all know, it's all about me, 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 isn't it? Everyone's all about self-obsessed almost. And we live in this weird world where we're all yearning for attention and look at me, right? No one is really interested in your client at all because everyone else is interested in themselves. You turn up in their life and you focus your first meeting and every meeting thereafter on your client and understanding them and finding out about them and their story. They'll love you forever. They really will, because you're focusing on them, not their money. Okay, that's the important thing here about lifestyle financial planning. It's about your client, not their money. Okay. It's also this question here, enough. How much is enough for your client to maintain the life they've just been telling you they've got now and they want to have going forward? How much is enough? But the big question is, enough for what? Helping someone to understand how much they need is one thing, but it's enough for what? You've got to find out the what. What is their life right now? What is the life that they want? What is the life that they want to keep? What they want to do more of? What they want to do less of? That's the role of a life planner, okay? Understanding them and their life, okay? That's hat one. When you've done that, then, and only then really, can you then do this, okay? And that is hat two. Hat two is your role as a financial planner. The financial planner's job is to help clients to understand the inflows and outflows of their life and the assets they've got available to them right now and the resources they're going to have available to them, not just now, but in the future too, right the way throughout their life, coming in what's coming in every year and what's going out every year based on reasonable assumptions. Then we can find out whether there are not enough here, in other words, they're going to run out of money, which clearly is a problem for a lot of people if they're going to run out of money. Okay, there is no not enough type client. There are got too much type client. Now, financial advisors I've spoken to all around the world, we all like these types, don't we? People who've got too much. But they need to know they've got too much. And therefore, what more could they do in the life they've got? Bearing in mind it's not a rehearsal. Your job is to help people that they are got too much and help them to see that, ideally through good financial planning software, to help them to understand with confidence that they could actually start taking less risk with their portfolio. Why are you trying to make more money only for it to pay more inheritance tax, certainly in the UK? What more could you do for your family now whilst you're alive to see the good that you're doing, rather than leave money behind and find that well, you never see the benefit you bring to the table? Or a massive number of people are what I call just right type clients. Just right type clients are people who've got just about the right amount of money for the rest of their life. They're going to be okay, you know. They needn't worry about money. They're going to be okay. There's only one slight problem. They don't know that because nobody's told them that. No one has helped them to see what their financial future looks like, to help them to have the reassurance that they're going to be okay. So if you're a just right, but you don't know you're a just right, what are you going to do? How are you going to live your life? You're not going to do stuff, are you? You're going to work till 60 when you could retire at 55. You're going to buy cheap wine when you could buy nice wine. You're going to have one holiday a year instead of two. You're going to worry about your money when you needn't worry about your money. This is what will happen if you're a just right, but you don't know you're a just right. Our job then, as lifestyle financial planners, is to help clients to understand which camp they fall into, to help them to see their financial future. So then they then know what they need to do to fix it. And that is when, after you've done that, then you can do this for all the right reasons. So my advice and my view and my message to clients was that I wear three hats effectively, and I work in this way on purpose, because until I know about you, I've got no right to talk about your money or tell you what to do with it. That's what I believe. Now, most clients that I've ever met have gone, wow, you're different. Because what do most financial advisors do? They talk about the money. And the focus becomes the money and performance and charges and all that sort of stuff that really doesn't matter that much as we think it does. So the three hat concept is something I really go into detail with and help clients advisors to really communicate well with confidence. And then if you communicate that well, then guess what? You then avoid this dangerous thing called the transaction trap, where you just do a transaction and it's a product-focused relationship and it's not good for anybody. It's not good for you. It's not good for your clients. And more importantly, when you really get this in your head and your heart and you can communicate it with confidence and deliver it with confidence, the universe sends you more of the right clients because you get it and you demonstrate that you get it by actually doing it to every client, every time, no excuses. And that's what we've got to do if we're going to build a proper financial planning profession, ideally focused on this lifestyle financial planning. My dream is that one day all financial advisors do this. I've been at this now for 10 years and I've converted a fair few, but I actually can't see it ever being achieved. And arguably, you don't want it to be achieved because this is your differentiator. If you get this great and communicate it well, this becomes your differentiator, and that's where you stand out amongst other financial advisors in the marketplace, where, let's face it, they're only interested in the money. That's what most financial advisors sadly do, but that's our opportunity. I think that's my my message today. I think if you bring all of that together and think now of the opportunity that you've got with as we go through COVID, hopefully out the other end, which seems to be happening now in the UK, people are aware of this now. People are rethinking their life. People are rethinking about what they want their life to look like going forward and what they've had enough of. And I've got a couple of friends who are in the broking world in yachts, okay, and they've seen a massive increase in business because people are thinking, I'm going to buy that boat. I want to do these things. So if you can be the one to help that client to realize it's okay to buy that nice yacht, it's okay to take time off. You haven't got to be at work 24/7. You can do these things. You can retire at the age of 55 and not wait till 70. And I wrote a book here. It's called Enough, and it's because I'm a big fan of this thing about the three types of clients. That's what this book's about, and it's got various case studies in there of real my clients, and it's been a massive benefit for members of my Inspiring Advisors group who now buy this book off me and give it out as a marketing tool. So sometimes I wrote this on purpose because I had so many members of my Inspiring Advisors group who, although they did the job really well and delivered lifestyle financial planning, they weren't very good at selling it, if you like. They weren't very good at communicating it because of this problem that most people think it's all about the financial advice stuff, and we need to break out of that. So I wrote this book thinking, wouldn't it be great if there was a book that you could just give to a prospective client and say, read that, because this is what we do. And if you like it, we'll have a chat, okay? And that's how they're using it. Well, they're using it in lots of different ways, but that's a really good tool to help get clients. Anyway, I'll stop talking now because I will just mention one thing. Andrew asked me to mention the fact that I've got. When I first started doing coaching for advisors, I would be doing workshops around the country. That was all fun, but it was also a big drain and a big commitment for me in my sailing activities, so I stopped doing that. And what I did, I put all my coaching into small bite-sized videos, and I called it the Inspiring Advisors 7-Step Success System. So I've got this online training program that members sign up to and subscribe to, where they get access to my videos to help them to really nail this and to really, really get good at it. And Andrew, I think, might mention to you whether, if any of you in the room might be interested in benefiting from this resource, it's something that Andrew and I can talk about how to make it available to you. But you've had a taste of what I'm about and what I stand for. It's really the best time ever to be a financial planner if you get this message. That's the thing. It's the most exciting, sexiest job in the world when you get it right, in here and in here, and you learn to communicate it well. Clients love it. Clients say to you, why don't all financial advisors do this? We know that. But more importantly, you walk taller. You walk with a big smile on your face, knowing that you're not a financial advisor. You change people's lives is what you do. And it's okay if people think you're a financial advisor, but when they see what you do, okay, because again, it's back to this thing, clients will not understand, prospects will not understand what proper financial planning is until they experience it. Your job is to help them to experience it. Then they'll love you forever. They don't care how much you paid, and they will refer you like crazy. That's the opportunity you've got available to you. I'm stopping now because I'll talk all day.